All right, I guess Judy is here. Welcome, guys. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from all over the world. You are joining us. This is getting your first or your next tech role, and this webinar is brought to us by AngelHack. I know we were supposed to do this last week, but for some technical difficulties, we had to shift it to this week. So, good evening, everybody, once again. My name is Adebayo, and I am a community advocate, I'm a developer advocate, I am everything about advocacy, and I'm also an advocate for your best next tech role. So, I'm a developer advocate at Speron, and Speron, we are a decentralized web hosting company where we allow you push your website on the decentralized server for free. So going directly today into the business of the day, which is getting your first or your next tech role as a newbie. So basically, one thing I've noticed about being a techie person or being a tech guy or a tech lady is getting your first role, getting your next role. You need to be strategic about it. You don't just want to say, oh, you are looking for your next tech role, you are looking for your next tech role or your first tech role without being strategic about it. If you are following me, you could use the chat section to say I'm following. So yeah, my name, people popularly call me Shiumbayo. Like I said earlier, I'm a developer advocate. You could find me on LinkedIn and on Twitter. Those are my links. And getting to the business of the day, one of the first things you want to do in getting your first tech role or your next tech role or your best intending dream role in tech is to be accountable to yourself. Accountability is key. You want to be accountable to yourself. You need to be accountable to yourself. Like I said earlier, accountability is key. And what is being accountable? Being accountable is the art of taking responsibility. You mean you know that, oh yes, you have this thing to do, taking responsibility for getting your next tech role or your first tech role in tech. You need to be accountable. And like I usually tell people, job search in tech is a job. People that are looking for a job in tech, they are doing one job. Job search is another job on its own. And in the process of job search, in the process of looking for your first role, in the process of looking for your next role, you need to be accountable to yourself. You need to sit down and say, hey, what am I looking for? Where am I at currently at my position? What grade am I at? How do I have skill to get my next role? How do I have skill to get my tech or my first role? So you need to be accountable to yourself. So looking at the right hand side of this slide, after being accountable to yourself, number one way to be accountable to yourself, you need to make a list of companies with the roles you intend to work in. There, you as a tech person, you cannot work in all companies. As a techie person, there's no way you can find yourself working for every company. You need to be very strategic and specific about company you want to work with. For example, you've been a fan of AngelHack and you like what they do. One of the things you could take on your list, oh, AngelHack as the first company you want to work with. Make a list of those companies, and in those lists of those companies, also make a list of those companies you are applying for. Yes, in as much I want to say, oh yes, I applied for 500 roles, I got 2 interviews, or I want to say I applied for 1,000 roles, I got 4 interviews. You want to make a list of those companies you're applying for with dates. It is part of being accountable. You want to make a list of those companies you're applying for a date and set a target. Set a target for yourself. Make sure that every week you have a target, you have a number of jobs you want to apply to. Make sure that every week you have a target you are looking forward to chase. Make sure that if your target is 10 roles or 10 jobs per week, make sure you hit that target for the week and make sure you are documenting them. You are documenting the role, you are documenting the date, you are documenting the company, and you are leaving other columns to say, oh, I've been invited for interview, or this is my first interview or not. But make sure you're accountable to yourself and document those accountability. Document it, document it. The process of being accountable is being taken document it. Number two, like I said earlier, the process of job search, the job search phase of your tech career, of your tech life, is a job on its own. So you need to be prepared. Like the bottle of the Boy Scout, it says be prepared. You need to be prepared with your cover letter and CV. Yes, we know that as tech person, we are not usually very, very great in writing our CVs. Be prepared with your cover letter, be prepared with your CV, especially as newbies. As newbies, you want to be 100% prepared with a cover letter, because you as newbies, it is believed that you literally have very few things to show on your portfolio. So your cover letter is something else the hiring manager wants to look. Your cover letter is something else a recruiter wants to look out for. So be prepared with your cover letter, be prepared with your CV. Yes, experienced folks and senior devs might say, oh, they are experienced enough and they don't need a cover letter. But you as as a newbie, as an intern, as a new intake in tech, you need your cover letter prepared. And don't make the mistake of saying, oh, I've written my CV by myself, it is perfect. You need to allow experts in the field review your CV for you. Allow experts review your CV, allow them give you feedback. The expert might be, oh, a senior developer or a senior designer or a senior person in your role that you are currently looking for. Allow them review your CV, allow them give you feedback, take those feedback and work on them. Another expert can be a recruiter somewhere else, or probably a recruiter you have seen on LinkedIn app that is pushing out application for the current role you want to do. Allow them review your CV, take feedback, work on those feedback, and make your CV perfect. The number 3 point we also want to talk about in the job search journey is build personal portfolio and keep practicing. Build your personal portfolio. We cannot overemphasize how important your portfolio is in your job search, because in as much as recruiter wants to see your CV, me as a CTO, as an hiring manager that is in tech, I always want to look at what you have built. I want to see your portfolio. Where can I find all these things you are building? Where can I get a repository of all these things you are building? So keep on building. Build a personal portfolio. It can be your website, it can be your GitHub repo, it can be your Figma repo, it can just be any repo, it can be your social media. Just build a personal portfolio. Keep building your personal portfolio, keep practicing. And on the right hand side here, we are going to see that keep learning and keep building. Keep learning, keep building. The process of job search in tech, even when you have gotten that dream role, you want to continue learning. You want to continue learning. As far as technology is concerned, there are new terms, there are new things every day. You want to continue keeping yourself abreast with these things. So keep learning. And there's a saying that practice makes perfect. And as a newbie, as an intern, I've discovered, especially as a newbie, as an intern in tech, one of the ways to be good, or one of the ways to become an expert or a better coder, is to continue coding. Keep practicing how to code. Keep learning how to code. Continue coding until you are perfect. Continue coding until you can figure out yourself. Continue coding. Just keep practicing. Like I said, they say practice make perfect, which is true in tech. The more you do, the more you know, whether as a developer or as a designer or whatever, just name it. The more you do, the more you know. Remember, practice make perfect. Keep practicing. Number 4 point we want to talk about is always join local and virtual meetups. With the advent of COVID-19, there are so many meetups that are basically online. Check out those meetups that are closest to you that you can attend. Join them. Check out those virtual meetups that has to do with your like you. In this meetup, you get to network with potential employers. In this meetup, you get to network with potential co-founders, potential CEO, potential hiring managers, name them. So attend local and virtual meetup, network with people. It is not enough to attend meetup. You must network, you must collect contacts, you must start up, you must reach out to people. So attend local and virtual meetup, network with your potential employees and colleagues, network with great people in the industries, and don't attend meetup just for attending sake. Always network. Make it a point that, oh, attending this meetup is for network. I want to network with people around me in this meetup. So attend meetup and network. The number 5 point that we want to look at is joining online communities. I know with the advent of COVID, there have been so many communities that have sprang up on Discord, on Slack. So join online communities, contribute, be a value members of these online communities. It's not enough to join online communities just to receive. Contribute, be a valuable member, interact with members of those communities. Join online communities and be valuable. Join online communities and be valuable. Interact, contribute, make sure that your positive impact is felt on all of these communities you are joining. So join online communities, contribute and interact with their members. Choose to volunteer for online communities. Choose to do free job for online communities. And the number 6 point we want to talk about is contributing to open source. We cannot overemphasize how important it is contributing to open source. So make open source contribution a priority for you, whether as a developer, whether as a designer, name it, contribute to open source. I know many people have said, oh, open source are for developers only. No, open source are for everybody in tech. There are some communities that are open source communities where you can even volunteer to manage to do those open source communities. Yes, open source software, those software that are released under a license, and people are given the opportunity to modify. You can modify. If it's open source, you can contribute. If it's open source, you can modify them. So contribute to open source. Make sure open source contribution is reflecting on your portfolio. Contribute to open source as a community manager, as a designer, as a developer. Keep on contributing to open source. And at a point, people get to fix you, people get to see you, people get to know you from your open source contribution. The number 7 point I wanted to say, or I want to hammer to you this evening: volunteer to fix bugs for free. Volunteer to fix bugs for free. Volunteer to fix bugs for free. Well, I used to usually tell my friends and colleagues that, well, for me, I believe that getting your stand foot in tech is not always about the money. Volunteer to fix people's bug on their website. Volunteer to say, oh, I was scrolling your website, I saw this bug, this is a fix. At no fee. You need it on your portfolio, and you need it to currently reflect in your repository. So volunteer to making projects for free. It can be community projects, it can be local projects for communities in your local area, it can be an NGO website, it can be anything. So contribute to making projects for free for NGO websites, for local areas, for local businesses in your community. Just volunteer to fix their bugs for free. Volunteer to continue making their project for free. And with that, you are not only learning, you are building, you are having something to show for your portfolio, and something is on your portfolio for you to show for that, yes, you have been learning. So volunteer for free project. Volunteer for free project. The number 8 we want to talk about is freelancing. Number 8 we are going to talk about is freelancing. Freelancing is the process of saying, hey, I'm talking to a colleague, I'm doing this work, do you mind me doing your website for you and getting paid for it? Freelancing is the process of doing a job somewhere, getting paid for your job. So while you are expecting, or while you are waiting for your next tech role, or you are dreaming, or you are waiting for your dream role, continue freelancing, continue doing projects, continue getting paid, freelancing, look out for clients, continue doing freelancing. And there are freelancing websites like Fiverr, like Upwork, where you could do jobs that is regarding your tech skill and get paid. So continue freelancing, and from there you get to see projects you add to your portfolio, and you get to build stuff. So you cannot overemphasize the importance of freelancing. Continue freelancing. The number 9th point is preparing for interview. Prepare for interview. Prepare for interview. At the beginning of this call, I said the job search journey is a job on its own. Prepare for interview. Prepare thoroughly for interview. For developers, there are algorithm solving platform where you could use to prepare for interview. For designers, I've seen some few online resources where you can use to prepare for design interview. In as much as you are dreaming or looking for your next role, prepare for interview. Prepare for interview. Prepare for your interview. We cannot emphasize how important it is to prepare for your interview. Some interview may take 2-3 months. Prepare for them. Prepare for them. Prepare for your interview. Preparing for interview has to do more than say, hey, I am submitting my CV, I am waiting for them to call me for interview. Preparing for interview has to go deep into, I'm solving challenges, I am talking to people that has gone through this interview before, and I'm interviewing them, I am knowing their pain, I am knowing their gain, I'm knowing how best to prepare for this interview. And preparing for interview has to do with consuming so many online resources. So you are talking to people that has gone through this interview before, you are interviewing them, you are getting their feedback, you are asking questions, you are asking people how to scale the interview, you are thoroughly preparing for interview. So prepare for interview. And finally, the number 10th point, the last but not the least, do not be quiet about your achievement. Do not be quiet about your project. Do not be quiet about your accomplishment. There are great people that have built awesome projects, but nobody knows about those projects. They are just there somewhere in the dungeon of their repository. They are not shouting about it. So whatever you are building online, whatever you are practicing with online, whatever project you are doing, whatever freelancing project you are doing, whatever NGO project you are doing, whatever volunteering project you are doing, don't be quiet about yourself. Shout it out on LinkedIn, let people know on Twitter, take it to Facebook, let people know. Shout about your accomplishment. Shout about your accomplishment. Let people know that you are currently doing this stuff. Let people know. Don't be quiet about yourself. Don't be quiet about yourself. Don't be quiet about yourself. Let people on your social media network know that you are currently building a project like this. And that's the last and the 10th point I want to tell us about getting your first or your next tech job or your next tech role. I'll be taking questions and I'll be looking at questions first in the comment section. And somebody is a starting point. Yes, I agree. You as developers communities, you can decide to manage developers communities, you can decide to volunteer manage other communities that has to do with developers relations or other designing communities or other local communities that has to do with you, and from there you get to be noticed by people. So yes, community management is easier and it is the starting point. And like somebody also said in the comment section here, bug bounties are key. People pay for people to look for bugs on their apps or their website. So pending the time you are looking for your next tech role, you can venture into bug bounties. You can venture into looking for bugs on people's app, looking for bugs on people's website, and you get to find bugs on their app. Organizations that pay you to contribute to open source include Google Summer of Codes, I think Oktoberfest, uh, Outreachy. These are organizations that pay you to contribute to open source, that pay you to even build your portfolio. So check out this. Even as a technical writer, there's Google Summer of Docs. There are organizations where they pay you to also contribute in writing to open source, not literally writing codes now, but writing documentations, writing articles. So you could check out these communities online, choose to commit to these things, prepare while preparing in the process of preparing for your next tech role, prepare for where you are and take where you are serious. Thank you so much for having me this evening. Thank you so much for joining tonight and enjoy the rest of your evening.